volleyball fans, and welcome to Jackson High School. This is STSPN.com. We've got a Wesco 4A matchup tonight between the Jackson Timberwolves and the Monroe Bearcats. I'm Matty Bishop bringing you the action today, and it should be a good one. Jackson coming off a big loss to Glacier Peak last Thursday. They've got a 5-3 record now on the Wesco 4A season, right in that sort of middle of the pack for the rest of the challengers. Monroe, one match above that, they're at 6-2. They've got losses to Lake Stevens and Kamiak on their record. Otherwise, they're perfect. They avenged their loss against Lake Stevens this past weekend at the Bearcat Invitational. We got a good one coming up. First serve just around the corner. We'll be right back on STSPN.com.
VideoFide creates the ultimate outdoor protection system on batteries. The OMV is a totally wireless detector camera that can be installed anywhere without wires or power cables. When the motion sensor detects an intruder, the OMV sends video alerts of what caused the alarm to a central station for immediate review and dispatch. VideoFide delivers faster police response and protects remote assets by helping law enforcement catch the bad guy.
All right, that was quick. Welcome back inside Jackson High School. That Pledge of Allegiance will sneak up on you if you're not careful. Monroe 6-2 on the season, avenged their loss from last time I saw them play. That was against Lake Stevens. They struggled with their serve receive and their serving that night, and Lake Stevens took advantage in a 3-set victory. Jackson struggled with their serve receive on last Thursday night when I saw them against Glacier Peak. Glacier Peak took advantage in a 3-set victory. Coaches out there are about to smirk because I'm about to say whoever serves and passes better tonight is going to be the team that comes out on top, but I think that is very, very true here in Jackson and Monroe. One thing that the Timberwolves know is that they don't want to get into a lot of transition battle against this Monroe team. They've got a big, powerful lineup featuring Meredith Teague and Samantha Zimmerman on the left pin. Their outside hitters are big and strong and can put the ball on the floor. Monroe will be missing their senior setter, Sierra Pitts, tonight, who also swung on the right side. That means it's up to the sophomore, Tatum McGovern, to run the 5-1 all the way around. They've got a couple players swinging up from the JV team just in case things don't go well. But the 5-1 worked well on Saturday at the tournament. They expect it to work well here tonight. It's Lauren Atwood, defensive specialist, number 13 at the service line for the Timberwolves, and we are underway.
Bearcats get the opening.
Monroe gets an easy one right out of the gates. Mina Duong, senior libero for Monroe, back at the service line. Senior libero and a leader on this team. Nice float serve, Samantha Horton. Taylor Eastwood goes up.
Point T-Wolves.
And no need to go up as that ball sneaks between the hands of Sarah Day and the net drops to the floor on the Monroe side. That'll bring Millie Doffelmeyer back to the service line, senior middle blocker for the Timberwolves. Pass from Zimmerman. Tight at the net. McGovern just gets it onto the hands of, I believe that was Sophia Barber, who pushed that one off the block and got the kill.
Megan Montas subbing in for Monroe.
Megan Mompas in to serve, if you didn't hear that one. Mompas is senior defensive specialist. Tip off the top, dig by Mina Duong. McGovern, right side for Teague, and Meredith Teague follows through into the net on that one. Easy point for Jackson. That'll bring Corinne Leon into the match to replace Haley Nelson. Leon will serve, play defense across the back row. The front row for Jackson, we've got Alex Crittenden. I believe we have Lauren DeMullen and Taylor Eastwood, the setter, on the right side of the front row. There's a back set from McGovern, and she finds Sophia Barber for her second kill. Barber, just a sophomore, six foot tall sophomore, sliding into that middle spot. So Monroe, plenty of height to go around. Meredith Teague at 6'2" at the service line. hammers that one. Horton does a great job of coming up with it. Eastwood pushes it in the middle for DeMullen, and the off-speed shot catches the Monroe defense by surprise. A lot of times you see that quick set coming and you're on your heels ready for the big hammer to come down. DeMullen just misfires slightly, and that was enough to throw off the defense. Tough pass there from Mompas. Teague, free ball from Duong. Crittenden, Eastwood, DeMullen, big block dug by Leone. Back outside, Sierra Cho pushes it up over the top. Mompas under it. No, we call it down for contacts. Thought that ball was down, but it ruled the pancake from Mompas, got under it, but it ended up being 4 contacts for the Bearcats. There's a quick set outside to Samantha Zimmerman. And that's a pair of sophomores connecting there on a very fast tempo play. Beautiful set from McGovern. Great swing from Zimmerman. And that faster, lower set to your outside hitter requires them to be up in the air or soon, as the ball is set or soon after. Checking into the match to serve for Monroe, number 2, that's Kaylee Barnes. Cho misfires into the net for the Timberwolves. Ciara had a great match a couple weeks ago against Kamiak. She has a really high point of contact, gets good reach on the ball, just misses on that one. They'll look to get her to spots a little bit tighter to the net, especially when she's hitting over the smaller McGovern. Barnes again, this ball up by Leone. Bump set off the net for Cho, rolls it over the top, and Barnes can't get under it. Ciara Cho with the kill, and we are about as even as can be through the first 10 points of set number 1 here. Senior libero Savannah Horton at the service line for the Timberwolves. She is a captain and leader of this team, along with outside hitter Alex Crittenden, who's going to be playing the left side of the defense right now. Leone on the right side of the defense. Here's McGovern, set out of the back row for Teague. Crittenden gets a hand on it, but Meredith Teague right down the pipe for the kill for the Bearcats. We saw that against Lake Stevens. They're not afraid to set those 2 big outsides out of the back row. If you watch, a really good team is going to run somewhere, depends on who you ask, somewhere between 36 and 42% of their attacks out of the middle of the court. That's either your middle hitter or your pipe attack out of the back row. That freezes that middle blocker and the defense on the other side, helps create one-on-one matchups on the pins, and having the 2 big hitters to hit out of the back row is quite exceptional. And we're going to stop the match to ask the folks, well, this is not, looks like we're going to get a real quick timeout here. We're going to take a quick break while they figure out what they're going to do with the front row here on STSPN.com. All right, welcome back. We got it all figured out. The folks who are here to watch get to stay and watch. Tatum McGovern gets a drop of vicious little float serve. You see that ball coming across the spin, or coming across the net with no spin at all on it. Makes it very difficult for the passer to read. It's a beautiful serve from the setter McGovern. That one drifts, just long. The reaction of the Monroe players, they thought it caught a piece of the end line. The line judge has the best seat in the house for that one. She determined that it's out of bounds. Taylor Eastwood to serve, junior setter for the Timberwolves. Zimmerman, a pass is tight, reached up and touched by Cho, and Monroe can't figure that one out. Those plays at the net are difficult. With the setter out of the back row, she cannot attack a ball. The player on the other side of the net cannot touch a ball until it breaks the plane. We didn't get a call either way there, just a point for the Timberwolves. Duong. Tatum McGovern, good job of running it down. She sets Teague, dug by Crittenden. Eastwood outside for Cho, big block. Zimmerman on the right side now, putting up the block against the outside hitter. That means it's Pierce and Day on the other side. Eastwood into the middle. Doffelmeyer rolls it over the top. Dig Teague outside for Day, and she pounds that one, misses outside of the antenna. If any part of the ball passes outside of any part of the antenna, that ball is out of play. So a little wrinkle here for the Bearcats. Coming out of rotation one where the outside hitter is traditionally on the right side, what they're doing is they're leaving the big block of Zimmerman over there on the right side. That's Madison Pierce with the swing up the middle for him. Sierra Cho, roll shot over the top, dig by Duong. Outside now Sarah Day pounds that ball into the tape and off the block and out. Touch called. The officiating crew is going to have a conversation about this one. So the call was that the ball was off of the block and out of play, meaning that would be a point for the Bearcats. If the ball indeed came off the tape, did not touch the block and went out of play, that would be a point for the Timberwolves, and that is the call that's being made. Taylor Eastwood will continue to serve for Jackson as they start to open up a little bit of a lead here early in set one. Zimmerman gets the pass, gets the set, gets the dig. Beautiful set from McGovern and a great hard angle swing from Samantha Zimmerman as we saw him shift their serve-receive rotation there. Change that matchup a little bit. I like what we're seeing the Bearcats doing early here in this match. Some good strategy coming out of the Monroe side. Head coach April Munoz has her team set up and ready to play tonight. Sierra Cho, Eastwood, good bump set there. Horton sends over the free ball. Zimmerman, McGovern, right side for Day. Dig Horton, nicely done. Outside now Sierra Cho, dig from Duong, even better. Outside here's Teague, and she hammers it, bounces off and around the block, and somehow kept alive, and Monroe can't bring it back. That ball was like a pinball game, bounced between the two blockers. If both blockers are in the air, contact is made above the height of the net in one motion. That's considered one contact. It then bounced off a blocker on the ground, which she dug and got somehow back over the net on the third contact. Lauren Atwood at the service line just picked up the service ace there. Jackson continuing to push points here in set one. Zimmerman, good pass. McGovern outside for Teague, off the hands, dug by Horton. Eastwood, right side Crittenden now, dig Zimmerman. McGovern, fast tempo for Teague, and all she can do is reach out and punch it over, and she misses. It's out of bounds. That was a tough one as McGovern tries to get that ball outside quickly, needs to get it a little higher for her outside hitter. Atwood, the lefty again. Zimmerman, overfeed. Oh, the looked to be a kill by Doffelmeyer, but then Zimmerman digs it. Great dig by Eastwood. Right side now, Haley Nelson, and she misfires for the Timberwolves. Great dig there by Zimmerman as she overfeeds the ball. It comes right back at her, and she digs it right back up. Some good defense early in this match here. Serve into the tape from the libero Duong. For those of you watching at home who may not have seen this before, that player in the other colored uniform is the libero. They may move in and out of the match without using a substitution, which are limited in the game of volleyball. They may not, however, play in the front row or set the ball with their fingers for an attacker in front of the front row. Or in front of the 10-foot line, pardon me. Big set, big swing, Meredith Teague, and a great dig by Lauren Atwood, and a roll shot from Crittenden, and a beautiful transition point for the Jackson Timberwolves, and huge credit to number 13, Lauren Atwood, who got down under that ball to keep the play alive. Doffelmeyer at the service line. Zimmerman. Duong outside for Teague, up over top of everybody, and Millie Doffelmeyer can't keep that one in play. Meredith Teague gets the kill. Monroe will serve. And it'll be Megan Mompas who comes into the match to serve for the Bearcats. She'll play DS, right side defense. Barber, Teague in the front row as the hitters, and the setter McGovern. Free ball from Horton. Duong, McGovern, out of the pipe for Zimmerman, judged to have been legal. Looked like it was close to being stepped over the 10-foot line. We'll talk about that momentarily. Here's Barber, and she finds a corner, just slaps that ball into a hole. Nice play by the sophomore Barber. So the rule on that back row attack, we've talked about Monroe attacking out of the pipe. You have to leave behind the 10-foot line. That's that green line. It's also called a 3-meter line. It's just back off the net. You may jump and land in front of it, but you have to take off behind it. We see a missed serve there from Mompas. Corinne Leon in to serve for the Timberwolves. Good defensive set for Jackson here with Leon, Atwood, and Horton. Going to be tough to put a ball down against these three. Duong, beautiful pass for McGovern. Here's Teague, pounded off the block, dig Crittenden. Eastwood, the lefty, dug by Duong. Horton keeps that ball alive up in the middle, free ball from Leon. Zimmerman, perfect pass, McGovern dumps, picked up by Horton. Eastwood, outside tip from Crittenden. Mompas can't handle it, and that's Alex Crittenden, the senior, with the kill for Jackson. The 16-11 lead, a timeout for Monroe, and a timeout here on STSPN.com.
Clogged drain? Other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Owned by a lifetime Edmonds resident and Edmonds Woodway grad, Action Jackson is the drain cleaning specialist. They can unclog most internal drains for only $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com.
Welcome back inside Jackson High School. It's Corinne Leon at the service line for the Timberwolves. They have a sizable lead, 16-11 over the Monroe Bearcats here in set one. And Leon with a tough serve. Duong and Zimmerman couldn't figure out the seam. And Jackson cruising here in set number one. Once again, it's the passing game for the Bearcats that's the bugaboo, throwing the wrench in their gears. Leon again after that same sieve. This time a good pass from Zimmerman. Teague, what a dig! Lauren Atwood doing work against the senior Teague. Duong pushes that ball to the right side for Zimmerman. Atwood with the dig again. Eastwood, right side for Crittenden. Pardon me, outside to the left antenna for Crittenden. She pounds that ball down. And Jackson just keeps rolling. That's a couple times now that Atwood has come up with a big dig. She's a junior, playing that left side defense right in that power alley that the outside hitter likes to hit to, the place that's easiest on the court for them to hit hardest. And that has really taken away a big part of the Monroe game. Here's Zimmerman hitting out of the back row, dig Crittenden. Apparently that ball was touched by Barber. Free ball here. Sophia Barber gets that one off of the hands and I believe off of Horton as well as it's on its way through. Sophia Barber with unofficially, completely unofficially, her fourth kill of tonight. I'm multitasking big time, so don't hold me to that. But Sophia's been very good so far here this evening for Monroe. Teague, tough serve, and she gets a service ace as Leon can't handle it. It's a high point of contact. Monroe going to need some more of that. Get themselves back inside this first set here. Horton handles that one. Eastwood does a good job of running it down, and then confusion on the Jackson side leads to the ball dropping, and Teague, the senior, working to grab this match by the scruff of the neck and get her Bearcats back in it almost single-handedly these last 2 points. Tried to do a little bit too much with that one, and it winds up in the net. The senior Alex Crittenden. has a 3.8 or better GPA. Atta girl, Alex. Keep that up. She'll serve for the Timberwolves. McGovern. Oh, Sam Zimmerman just hangs there. Leon perfectly positioned to dig it. Ciara Cho on the other side, dug by Duong. Out of the back row, Teague now. Off the block of DeMullen. Eastwood outside for Cho again, and she misfires. She's having a rough time getting going here in set number 1. Nice job in the middle by Jackson just to slow down that pipe attack. You don't always get the stuff block to have an effective block. Sometimes you're just putting your hands on that ball. Pop it up in the air, make life easier for your defense. Kaylee Barnes with the serve for the Bearcats.
Sophie Bader, subs on from Monroe.
Funky sub there as the middle comes out for the serving substitution, which is Barnes, and then goes back in, but the libero, Duong, comes back in for the middle. Here's Meredith Teague, and that one's stuffed by a combination of Doppelmayr and Eastwood. So Monroe going to that well, running that pipe attack, and so far Jackson has the answer for it. Savannah Horton at the service line. Teague, McGovern outside for Zimmerman, and Leon can't handle that one. Samantha Zimmerman with that big swing down the line, very difficult to defend. You hope that your blocker on that right side, in this case Taylor Eastwood, can get her hands on it, but that just didn't happen on that play. McGovern with the serve for the Bearcats. Pass Crittenden, brought back into play by Cho. Free ball from Horton. Teague, McGovern, swing, and a beautiful swing from Madison Pierce. That ball got a little behind her, but she managed to change up the arm swing just enough to drop that ball into the back corner. Huge part of being a hitter is recognizing when that ball's not in the sweet spot, you've got to change up that arm swing. McGovern, set by Horton. Ciara Cho, pardon me, Ciara. Big swing, that's that high point of contact we're talking about. That's that big swing that she wants to get rolling here for the Timberwolves.
Coming on for the Timberwolves.
The setter Eastwood back to serve. She's been very good this year. Teague outside for Zimmerman, and just gets up and slaps that ball down into the hole. The Bearcats not going away here in set number 1. Meredith Teague back to the front row. Samantha Zimmerman back to serve. Pierce, Day, and Teague in the front row for the Bearcats. Crittenden, Eastwood, bump set back for Cho, and that looked funky right from the beginning. Ciara Cho, the outside hitter, stuck on that right side in this first serve-receive rotation, can be a little unnatural. The trade-off is you've got Haley Nelson hitting off that left pin. She's been great at times this year. Zimmerman, Crittenden, oh, service ace.
Point Bearcats.
Beautiful serve from Zimmerman. Both of her serves have been called out by the Jackson serve receive line. The first one was passed, the second one wasn't. The result was a point Bearcats either way. Crittenden, Cho brings it back. Horton sends the free ball. Here comes Monroe. Perfect pass for McGovern, looking for Day. Oh, nice job keeping it up from Eastwood, but Horton can't get under it, and that'll be a kill for Sarah Day. The 5'10 freshman, that'll be a timeout for Jackson, and we'll be back with crunch time here in set number 1 on STSPN.com.
I'm the chairman for the Texas Police Chiefs Association Alarm Committee. When we talk about what this definition is and what it means to them and their response for alarms. Number one, it lets them truly prioritize the alarms. The alarms that don't come to them fitting that definition as a verified alarm, it will allow them to set those alarms to a priority that they probably give alarms already down there on the bottom of the call stack. But the calls that truly do merit a higher response, those get pushed to the top, those get the response they need to actually make arrests.
Welcome back inside Jackson High School. The Bearcats are on a roll. They've taken a big chunk. Jackson looked like they were going to cruise to a win here in set number 1. Samantha Zimmerman at the service line for the Bearcats has her team within 1 point of the Timberwolves, and we've got a very exciting finish. Timeout leads to a side out. That's not always exactly how you draw it up, but Coach Mindy Staudinger will take it for the Timberwolves. That brings Lauren Atwood into the match to serve. She's been very good defensively, a couple big digs tonight. The lefty, tough serve to Reed. Great pass from Zimmerman. Fast tempo to Teague. The block gets a piece of it. Eastwood digs it. Horton with the bump set for Crittenden. Roll shot over the top, dug by Zimmerman. Outside for Teague again. And that time she puts a dent in the floor. Beautiful swing from the senior, Meredith Teague. Senior libero Mina Duong to the service line.
Junior Hannah Neal subs on for Jackson.
So Hannah Neal into the match for the Timberwolves. Horton, Eastwood, Crittenden, roll over the top, Redden dug by Teague. McGovern, back row for Zimmer, dug by Atwood, another good one from her. Right side, there's Neal's first swing, picked up by Duong. McGovern pushes it outside, tip up over the top, great play by Horton. Dug out of the net by Crittenden, pushed over the top by Atwood. Duong, McGovern, Teague, picked up by Horton, that one's up, played back in by Eastwood. Nielsen's a free ball. Duong, McGovern, Barber, and that one's a point, and we're tied at 23. Beautiful rally from both sides there. Sophia Barber, who's had a fantastic first set for the Bearcats, ties this one up, and it'll be the first team to have a 2-point lead. Will win set number 1. Duong, pass by Horton. Eastwood, quick in the middle for Doppelmayr, and it's Barber and Teague all over it. Good timing as Millie Doppelmayr comes right to the setter, gets up in the air. The set's quick, well placed, but Barber and Teague were all over it, and that's a stuff block and set point for the Bearcats. But first, we're going to take a break. Come on back here on STSPN.com. Welcome back inside Jackson High School. Mina Duong in a wild turn of events, serving set point here in set number 1 for the Bearcats. They were down 21-15, now up 24-23. Here's Alex Crittenden, dig by Duong. Tatum McGovern, outside Meredith Teague, high reach over the top, and she drops it into the corner, and what a comeback from the Bearcats. Jackson looked to have had the first set wrapped up, a huge lead. Monroe comes in, chips away, and wins set 1, 25-23. We're going to take one more quick break here between sets on STSPN.com. We'll be right back. Give us about 2 minutes, folks. All righty, we're back inside Jackson High School. Didn't see that one coming, neither did the Timberwolves. They were cruising there in set number 1. Had opened up a nice big lead. All of a sudden, the Bearcats said, no, not this time. Came back and took the first set 25-23. We're going to get to see how the Timberwolves react. See what an angry Timberwolf looks like tonight. The Bearcats will start with the serve here in set number 2. Don't see any lineup change. Oh, I do. Hannah Neal is going to stay in the match in place of Haley Nelson. She'll start, it looks like she'll start on the right side for the Timberwolves.
The second set with the serve.
She can hit right side. She can also set. Looks like the same, similar thing we started with on the Bearcats side. Trying to see who our middle is over there from Monroe. Believe it's Barber. Looks like we've got Barber, Day, and Zimmerman. Teague at the service line, misfires on that one. Lauren Atwood comes into the match for Ciara Cho. Really impressed with Atwood. The quality of the defense she plays is exceptional. Mina Duong, Tatum McGovern. Samantha Zimmerman off the block for a point. Sometimes it's not about how hard you swing, it's about how smart you swing. The block was well formed there. Zimmerman didn't just hammer the ball into it. She found the outside of that outside blocker's hands and scores. Mina Duong, beautiful float serve. Pass from Crittenden's a good one. Right side for Neal, and that ball's outside. It looked like it had gotten outside of the antenna. Either way, it landed outside of the boundary line, and that'll be another point for the Bearcats. Horton, that ball gets behind her. Atwood brings it back. Free ball from Crittenden. Here comes Monroe. Perfect pass from Duong to McGovern, blocked in the middle. Nice job from Doffelmeyer. Out of the back row, Teague dug up by Atwood, but that's 4 contacts, and it'll be a point for the Bearcats. I really like what just happened there on the Monroe side. They get the first swing out of the front row. They come back in tempo with a faster timing and hit that ball out of the pipe. That's really well done from Monroe. Duong continues to serve. Crittenden. Atwood outside for Crittenden, off the block and out. Smart swing from the senior there. She catches the middle on the move. Doesn't get her hands around so that they're pointing and directing the ball back into the court, and they're directed out of play. Point for the T-Wolves. Millie Doffelmeyer at the service line. Zimmerman, overfeed Demulin. I got corrected on that last week. I think it's Demlin. I think I try and make it sound more French than it is. Sorry, Lauren. The coaches call her D. Millie Doffelmeyer. Misfires on that one.
Point Bearcats.
That'll bring Megan Monpas into the match. She takes the place of Sarah Day. She'll play serve and play some defense for Monroe. Ooh, that ball rolled right up the arms of Demolin there. Net violation called against Monroe. And that'll bring Corinne Leone in to serve for the Timberwolves. Once again, trading points in set number 2. It's what we did through much of set number 1 until 2 big runs, one by Jackson to get ahead and one by Monroe to come back and win it. We saw another beautiful dig from Atwood there. Somehow, number 11 for the Timberwolves, Dimmelin, keeps that ball up and alive off the block. Zimmerman, another dig from Dimmelin, popped over the top, touched by Crittenden and out of play. And after all that, the Bearcats come up with the point. A couple really nice plays at the net there by the sophomore middle, 6'2", number 11, Lauren Demulin. Not sure. I should know. Zimmerman at the service line for the Bearcats. Ooh, the bottom fell out of that one, and Atwood had a hard time getting under it. Zimmerman again. Atwood struggles with that one again, so Sam Zimmerman was very good at the service line through the end of set number 1. She's picking right up where she left off, scoring points for the Bearcats here in set number 2. This time Atwood gets the ball up. Nice job from Horton to get it to the outside hitter Crittenden. McGovern runs down the Teague dug by Leone. Outside for Crittenden, over the top through the block, and Mompas can't get under it. Nice dig from Corinne Leone as Meredith Teague slaps that ball down the line. Leone pushes it up. Nice heads up play from the Timberwolves to get it to their senior outside hitter, and she finds the floor. And now she will serve, Alex Crittenden. Mom pass, comes off a double contact. Nope, net violation. Could have been a double contact too. The net violation was the easier of the two calls for the officials. And Crittenden looking to tie this one up here in set number 1. Duong, that ball's tight. And a nice job by Dimmeling getting up against Pierce. Out of the back row, there's Zimmerman, and she puts that one on the floor as Crittenden just couldn't track it down. That big high point of contact and that big heavy arm swing, that ball comes fast. We see Barber into the front row, Madison Pierce serving for the Bearcats.
Point for the Timberwolves.
Trading points one way or another. We said early on that it would be the serve-receive game that won this one. So far it's been pretty close. Neither team really looking stellar in their passing or their serving. Nice slide for Barber, and Sophia Barber is looking stellar tonight. She runs that slide footwork, gets around that one, and just slaps it over everybody down into that corner. It wasn't huge, it wasn't dynamic, but it was extremely useful, and that's something you want to see out of your middle hitters, the ability to find points even when the timing is a little off. McGovern, perfect pass from Crittenden. Here's the slide for Doffelmeyer. The play's kept alive, and Teague pounds it off the block and out of play. Point Bearcats. So I thought Millie Doffelmeyer was going to get her 2 cents in on the slide, but that ball's kept alive. The out-of-system set to Meredith Teague, and she does what Meredith Teague does with out-of-system sets, which is score points. Ciara Cho, good high point of contact. She misfires, but there's a center line violation called against the Bearcats. The official making a point of telling the coach who was under the center line. That's a courtesy. We probably shouldn't stop the match for it. Hannah Neal's in for Corinne Leone. That means that Taylor Eastwood, junior setters at the service line for Jackson. Zimmerman, McGovern, quick in the middle for Barber, and again, that ball was 6 inches, maybe a foot behind her head. She reaches up, pops it through, and somehow scores a point. The young lady is having herself quite a night. She's number 14, sophomore middle Sophia Barber for the Bearcats. Meredith Teague, Horton, out of system set from Doffelmeyer, rolled over the top by Neal. Duong, McGovern, Zimmerman. Neal does a nice job of getting the block up. Teague pops that one up. Cho, Teague again. Run down by Duong, played back out of system, free ball from Barber. Crittenden, Eastwood, back set for Neal, and she gets it off the hands and out of play. Nice point for the Timberwolves there. Hannah Neal didn't have much she could do with that ball. She hammered it off the blocker's hands, and it fell just barely outside of that sideline for a point. Nice job. Lauren Atwood, what a serve. That was going to drop. Good out-of-system set from Duong. Oh, quick in the middle, Eastwood to Doffelmeyer, and Doffelmeyer plays that one beautifully, both plays. That's a gutsy set from Eastwood as she goes low and fast to her middle from a long ways away. It wasn't perfect, but Doffelmeyer connects, gets the overfeed, and puts it down on the second try, and Jackson within one with Atwood at the service line. Duong, McGovern looking to go quick for Zimmerman. Beautiful dig from Atwood again. Eastwood outside for Crittenden. Dig by Duong. Run down by Teague. Free ball from Duong. Horton. Eastwood. Back set. A little crazy. Neal just reaches out and punches it and turns it into a point. There was absolutely nothing that Hannah Neal could do with that set except for exactly what she did. She was just struggling to get a hand on it. That worked, and she scored a point. We're tied at 11. Teague. McGovern bump set for Day. Through, nice swing from Sarah Day. She has really nice hops. She gets up high. She's not the tallest hitter you're going to run across, but she gets up, hits the ball at a really high point of contact, and the freshman makes you think that really good things are in store for the future of Monroe volleyball. Duong, Horton, run down by Eastwood. Neal misfires, and that's a point for the Bearcats. It's a tough play on that set that's 16 feet off the net to run it down and bump set back to your right side. Hannah Neal's had the magic touch, but they found the limits of it there. Mina Duong continues to serve for the Bearcats. That one almost got over for the Trickler. Millie Doffelmeyer brings Lauren Dimmelin into the front row for the Timberwolves. Doffelmeyer returns the favor and misses one of her own. That serve, receive game will get you. Here's Megan Monpas into serve for Monroe. Ooh, that one comes off the net and drops. Atwood just didn't have time to get under it and do anything with it. She kept it off the ground, but it didn't stay off the ground long. Nice serve there from the senior Monpas. That one, not quite as nice.
Sophomore Corinne Leon subs on for Jackson.
Corinne Leon in for the T-Wolves. She's been a mainstay as a defensive specialist in the Jackson lineup this year. And she gets a service ace. Monpas can't track that one down, and you look. Options for both of these teams to put quality defenders in the match is very impressive. Leon again going after Monpas. This pass a little better. Run down by McGovern. Out of the back row, it's Teague, and Leon can't handle it. That was a lot of heat. Meredith Teague gets up out of the pipe again and puts that one on the scoreboard for the Bearcats. They're holding on to the slimmest of margins here in set number 2. Samantha Zimmerman at the service line for Monroe. Horton gets handcuffed. Atwood out of system set for Crittenden. Turns into a roll shot over the top. Dig from Teague. Quick to the outside, and Meredith Teague right over top of the block of Eastwood. Wasn't a perfect set, but that mismatch is glaring enough that Monroe takes advantage of it. That's a tall order, no pun intended. Okay, pun intended, why not? Tall order for anyone to get up and block in front of Meredith Teague, or Samantha Zimmerman for that matter. Atwood, push this one up, the trouble set, no one can get to it, and Monroe starting to look more and more in control here of set number 2 with the sophomore Zimmerman at the service line. This was towards the end of set number 1 where the Bearcats did some really good things. Atwood, out of system set from Horton. Crittenden just goes up with the slide footwork, the one-footed takeoff, allows her to get her hips around and hammer that ball down the line. Nice swing from Angie Crittenden. Monpas, nice set from McGovern. Misfire from Teague, and a point for the T-Wolves. They're not done yet. Monroe looked to be comfortable and in control. Jackson was in the same position in set number 1. Monroe came back and made him pay. Jackson looking to do the same thing. Great serve again, that flat, low, hard floater. Coach Karch Karai for the women's national team, they call that flean, flat and clean, meaning no spin and a flat, fast trajectory. That's how you want to serve. Meredith Teague pounds that ball off the block, and Leon just couldn't get under it, and I think Monroe, the block looked to have done its job popping that up in the air. The defense just didn't recognize whose ball that was. We see number 12, that's Tiffany Kuntz, in to serve for the Bearcats. Woo, that was a tough one. Nice job getting it up. Great block set up, and that's McGovern and Barber. McGovern didn't realize that they served that one. They'll have time to sort that out as Mindy Staudinger calls a timeout for the T-Wolves. Bearcats by 3 here in set 2. We're right back on STSPN.com. For the Monroe Bearcats, they're up by 3 and up 1 set to none here, set number 2. Jackson Timberwolves looking to right the ship and get back on track. Lauren Dimmelin, nice swing, good dig, good defense from Monroe, and great swing from Meredith Teague. That's that transition game that you don't want to play with the Bearcats. If you can't keep them under pressure, and you allow them to get the easy sets for those big hitters, your life is going to be very, very difficult on defense. Kuntz, that one she got under a little bit. Spatched it, as my beach partner likes to call it. Get under it like the wrong-sided shape of a spatula, and that ball drifts out. That'll bring Savannah Horton to the service line for the Timberwolves. And Savannah Horton with the service ace for Jackson. Senior captain Horton, the libero. Been very good in the matches we've seen this year. Zimmerman, beautiful pass from Sam Zimmerman. The back set to Barber. The timing was just off, and I think that's the first time we've seen Barber miss tonight. Jackson right back in this one. Horton will serve again. And another great serve. She gets the service ace as Mompas can't put it up, and we're tied at 21. Doffelmeyer, Cho, and Eastwood across the front row for Jackson. Teague, McGovern, Teague, roll shot over the top. Horton gets under it. That ball's judged to be in play, and Sierra Cho misfires. Great dig by the libero Horton. Unfortunate misfire. Bad timing for Jackson. That brings Tatum McGovern to the service line. Sophomore setter for Monroe. Serving out of rotation 1. She's got a Sarah Day, Sophia Barber, and Meredith Teague in the front row. Nice touch. Corinne Leon. Eastwood bump set. For the right side, that's Paige Wilson checking into the match. We're in number 10. Teague's gonna swing from 16 feet off the net, and that ball drops. And that's one heck of a swing from a very confident outside hitter. And Jackson needs to figure out their defense. That ball should not drop. It was exceptional, it was extraordinary, but that trajectory of that ball should be picked up. Crittenden Eastwood does a nice job trying to run that one down, but she can't bring it back, and it's set point here in set number 2 for Monroe. We'll get a quick timeout for the Bearcats. We'll take a quick timeout on STSPN.com. Welcome back into Jackson High School. It's set point here in set number 2 for the Monroe Bearcats. They stole set number 1 after being down big, 21-15. They came back, won 25-23. Not so much thievery going on here in set number 2. Monroe has just been the more consistent of the two teams, and Jackson can't deal with the serve from McGovern. The Bearcats are up 2-0 on the Jackson Timberwolves. Hey, come on back in about 2.5 minutes. Let's check out, see how these Timberwolves, see if they can regain their composure here on STSPN.com. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Matty Bishop. This is STSPN.com. The big bad Monroe Bearcats up 2-0 on the Jackson Timberwolves, and looking like they've got all the momentum in the world. Jackson Timberwolves got to find some way to right the ship. They had a tough one against Glacier Peak last Thursday. Same thing happening here against Monroe, and this Wesco 4A schedule is no joke this year. Lots of good teams, very, very few easy matches on that Wesco 4A schedule. Huge shout out to everyone watching across the country. We've got reports, there's folks in California, Montana, Nevada, I think. We got folks all over the place. Thank you for watching STSPN.com. This is a labor of love on behalf of our producer, Todd Elvig. I'm Matty Bishop, and we'd like to really thank you guys for supporting our broadcast here and checking out what we've got to do. The real stars of this show are the athletes. It's a great pleasure to get out here and highlight these athletes, all the hard work that they put in, the dedication, the commitment that's required to be a student athlete. I'm just humbled and really appreciative for the opportunity to get here and shine a little bit of light on these kids and what they do with their spare time. Lauren Atwood at the service line for the Timberwolves. She's been good defensively. She's going to look to get him on a little roll early. Mina Duong. Tatum McGovern outside Meredith Teague over top, and Meredith Teague from that high point of contact at the top of her jump when that set is just perfect is a beautiful thing to watch her hit. She is really, really good. Not many players in Wesco who can block her when that situation arises. Mina Duong, the libero for the Bearcats at the service line, catches a piece of the tape. Great great pass from Horton. Right side swing and a net violation call against the Bearcats. Looked like that was against number 8. That would be Sarah Day.
Sophomore Olivia Skibble subs on for Jackson.
Olivia Skibble in to serve for the Timberwolves. Not the first time we've seen her in as a serving sub this season. She's a sophomore. Her sister Danny graduated last year. Sarah Day with the swing over the top, dug by Atwood. Eastwood outside for Crittenden. She hits that ball down the line. Nice dig for McGovern. Duong bump set right side for Teague. Nice dig in the middle by Skibble. Eastwood, Crittenden, dig by Duong. McGovern out of the pipe. Here's Zimmerman, off speed but misses, and Jackson a nice rally. Good defense on both sides. The Timberwolves come away with that point. Skibble will continue to serve. Looking to see if I see any other changes on the Jackson side. I don't believe so. Then again, we might have a Haley Nelson back in. Sophia Barber through the middle, and that ball drops. Eastwood just barely gets under it. The Bearcats had written it off for dead. It looked like it was going to go out of play, and that one drops right on the tee at the sideline in the 10-foot line. Haley Nelson is back into the match, playing right side for the Jackson Timberwolves. Skibble with the serve again. Zimmerman, McGovern, Day with the quick set right behind McGovern, and a nice play as Barber comes in fast in front of the setter. Day comes in fast behind the setter. Very difficult for the blocker to read and commit which hitter is going to get that ball and get their hands in front of it in time. Nice play there from the Bearcats. Lex Thompson into the match, number 6 for Monroe. First time we've seen her tonight at the DS spot. Her serve, passed by Crittenden. Bump set from Eastwood. Nelson tries to do something a little too much with it. Ends up giving a point to the Bearcats. You don't want to send an easy free ball. You want to keep the other team under pressure, try and hold them out of system, especially when you got a hitter like Teague in the front row. But you gotta take care of the ball first. Another nice serve from Thompson, pass from Atwood. Here's Crittenden, and Crittenden reaches up a little wrist away, snap, and that ball finds the floor. Nobody saw that coming. Looks like that swing came straight off the beach. You just change that angle of contact right at the last second. Nice kill from the senior Crittenden, brings Leon in to serve. Tatum McGovern, beautiful set for Teague, and Atwood can't get under it that time. And what a gorgeous set from Tatum McGovern as she gets around on the little jump pivot, puts that ball right into her hitter's wheelhouse, and Meredith Teague puts that ball on the floor. Teague will be back to serve. Monroe looking to run away in 3. Go home early and do your homework. Savannah Horton and the Jackson Timberwolves trying to make sure that doesn't happen. Eastwood tries to connect fast with DeMullen, and they just weren't on the same page. Teague will serve again. Woo! Leon keeps it alive, a joust to the net, and a lift call. Don't know that I saw that. Teague. Again, that serve is vicious. Crittenden runs this one down. Free ball from Eastwood. Deep corner, Teague deals with it. Nice job by McGovern. And Sam Zimmerman just reaches up, slaps that ball over top of the block and right down into the hole in the Jackson defense. Just when it looks like Jackson's going to get a break, one of these big hitters just reaches up and does something that you can't do if you're not 6 feet tall. Horton, bump set, Crittenden sends a free ball, Duong. McGovern, quick outside for Zimmerman, good dig by Leon. Eastwood, free ball again. Thompson, McGovern, Barber now off the block, and Sophia Barber with another kill. And the sophomore, Sophia Barber's big night continues. Meredith Teague continuing from the service line. What a serve. Leon just can't handle it, and that is a wicked, wicked serve. Low, flat, fast. Haley Pistol checks into the match, sophomore defensive specialist. Swinging up from the JV, going to get some time. Opportunity to pass Meredith Teague's serve. Teague goes right after her. She gets the ball up in the air. Eastwood runs it down. Dimmelin pushes it up over the top and just out of play. And the Bearcats, that powerful serve at Teague, creating points, creating opportunities for Monroe. Jackson has to find an answer. Timeout. They're going to take a moment to talk about it. We're going to take a moment to think about it. We'll be right back on STSPN.com.
Clogged drain? Other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Owned by a lifetime Edmonds resident and Edmonds Woodway grad, Action Jackson is the drain cleaning specialist. They can unclog most internal drains for only $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com.
Welcome back inside Jackson High School. If you haven't seen it yet, you got to check out the STSPN.com Twitter feed. We got grandmas in the house. Everybody's here. Grandma's cheering for the Bearcats. The Bearcats are having a great night tonight. Meredith Teague at the service line. Jackson High School still has a chance to ruin the Bearcat party. Teague after Haley Pistol. Pistol with a nice job passing. A good set from Eastwood. Crittenden off the block, dug up by McGovern. Bump set from Zimmerman. That's an illegal back row attack. And he called it. Hey, all right. Took him a second to think through that one. Just like we talked about earlier, if you're going to hit out of that back row, you have to leave from behind the 10-foot line. Meredith Teague got that left foot in front of the 10-foot line, jumped and contacted the ball above the height of the net in an attacking motion, and that is not allowed. Perfect pass from Teague. Quick in the middle for Barber. Oh my goodness, that is unfortunate. Sophia Barber gets blocked by Dimmelin. The ball bounces off her head, and the official calls a lift, and that was just a very poor call. Teague. McGovern outside for Zimmerman, and she pounds it through the block and down.
Point Bearcats.
Samantha Zimmerman, too much power there. Tiffany Kuntz in to serve for the Bearcats again, and we've also got Madison Pierce checking back in for Monroe. Woo! Good serve from Kuntz. Once again, that flat, fast serve, and the bottom just drops out. Everybody thought it was going to be out. I thought it was going to be out, and then all of a sudden it just turned left at Albuquerque, dropped right inside of that end line. Kuntz will serve again for Monroe. Pistol can't handle that one. Another service ace for the Bearcats. So last time we saw Monroe play against Lake Stevens, they struggled with their serves. Tonight, we're seeing how good and how much of a weapon that serve for the Monroe Bearcats can be. And the rest of Wesco better be paying attention to this one, because Jackson is usually a pretty good passing team. Great swing. Dimmelin hits on the right side. Beautiful high point of contact. Nice hard arm swing. Puts that ball on the floor. That'll bring the senior Savannah Horton to the service line. Meredith Teague. McGovern fast outside for Zimmerman, and that's tough to stop. Beautiful set from McGovern on tempo. The hitter has to commit. They've got to be in the second step of their approach by the time that ball gets to the setter's hands. Zimmerman does a beautiful job. Trusts her setter, gets up in the air, and the ball's right where it's supposed to be, which in the Bearcats' opinion is on the floor. Crittenden. Eastwood turns, tries to get her hips around that one with that big lefty swing, and she misses just long. It's all Monroe here in set number 3. Eastwood. Paige Wilson, dig by Duong. McGovern outside for Zimmerman. Nice adjustment, good dig from Crittenden. That ball's pushed up in the middle. Wilson gets it up, and looked like a touch from Day and Wilson as it rolled across the tape. Maybe not. Either way, it falls on the Jackson side. Point Bearcats. Tatum McGovern at the service line, and Monroe is rolling. Crittenden keeps that one in the air. Bump set from Horton. Wilson swings over the top. Dig Duong. Out of the back row, Teague, dig Horton, and oh, that's unfortunate. Comes straight off the basketball hoop and straight back down. And the rule is if it's more than 23 feet above the gym floor, it is legal and in play if it comes down on your side. The hoop is more than 23 feet above the floor. That's a legal play. Serve from McGovern. Another service ace for the Bearcats. Suddenly, there's some questions about the Jackson Timberwolves. They got off to a great start to the season. The good news is we're just around the halfway point, just turned the halfway corner here in Wesco 4A. Jackson's got lots of time to figure this out. Nice swing there from Wilson, the freshman. Number 10, Paige Wilson for the Timberwolves, trying to make her case to be part of the solution here for what's going on with Jackson. Eastwood from the service line. Haley Nelson comes in for Haley Pistol. Nelson will play right side on the front row. Wilson will play the left pin. And we've got Doffelmeyer in the middle, I believe. Ooh, Sam Zimmerman just reaches out and gets a hand on that ball she had no business getting a hand on. Free ball from Nelson. McGovern quick behind for Day, and she misfires.
Point Jackson.
Well, it was a good set. I don't think Day quite expected it to be there. He expected McGovern to go back outside to Zimmerman. Teague, McGovern, quick in the middle for Day. Beautiful dig by Horton. Eastwood, Wilson rolls it over the top. Dig McGovern. Bump set Duong for Teague out of the back row. Dig Eastwood, brought back by Nelson. Free ball from Crittenden. Duong runs it down. Perfect pass for McGovern. Quick in the middle. Oh, what a dig! Crittenden gets under it. Nelson keeps it alive. Outside for Zimmerman off the block. Wilson now. Eastwood. Nelson. Over the top dig Duong. Back right side for Day, and that one drops, and the freshman Sarah Day gets the kill. What a rally. Couple great plays defensively on both sides of the net. Fantastic display of volleyball there. Sam Zimmerman, who has been phenomenal at the service line tonight. It's the best word I can come up with. See if I can think of a better one. Nope, phenomenal's it. That's pretty good. Horton. Tough pass for Eastwood, tries to keep it alive. Doffelmeyer can't put it back over. And again, the tough serving of Samantha Zimmerman, keeping the Jackson Timberwolves at bay. Gonna take something special for the T-Wolves to get back in this one. The only way to do it is 1 point at a time. But they gotta start finding points more of the time. Back set from Eastwood, looking for Wilson. Not sure Wilson saw that coming. Not sure it was a great location or great decision, and sometimes you get stuck in a little hole. You maybe try and do something you haven't done before. You try and change things up. Not a bad idea from Eastwood. Zimmerman, another good serve. Holy smokes. Samantha Zimmerman. And a substitution. Hannah Neal comes into the match for Eastwood. Neal will set she'll set. She's in the back row, so she's not going to hit. Zimmerman again. And another service ace, this time to the seam between Horton and Crittenden. Samantha Zimmerman, 23-9, all Monroe Bearcats here in set 3. This team is functioning at a very high level. Zimmerman, another service ace. So you don't want to peak early, right? Right now in Wesco, everybody is chasing Lake Stevens. They've got the 8-0 record. They've got Kamiak tonight at Kamiak. Kamiak took them to 5. It was a very close match earlier in the season. Lake Stevens could stumble. They probably will at some point. Everybody does. Who's going to peak going into the playoffs? Hannah Neal trying to peak going into the playoffs. That's a beautiful swing.
Point Monroe, and they will take the match tonight.
No. That's a, looks like a net violation call against Jackson. An unfortunate way to end that one, but a great performance from the Monroe Bearcats as they put up a 3-set win over the Jackson Timberwolves. We'll be right back here on STSPN.com. Don't leave. We got our player of the match coming up.
18th against Kamiak.
Welcome back inside Jackson High School, where the Monroe Bearcats came to town and took care of business tonight. We're here with our adrenaline fundraising player of the match, none other than number 13 sophomore outside hitter Samantha Zimmerman. Sam, what a performance tonight. Talk to us a little bit about some of the things that are really clicking for the Monroe Bearcats right now.
When we have our energy, we just kind of go off. Like when we get together, we're always looking at each other and saying, let's do this. And our energy just really takes us far because we all click and we get the job done.
Very impressive. So last year we watched you break onto the scene as a freshman playing in the middle for a very talented Monroe team. Talk to us, for a young player who's watching tonight, talk to us about making that switch from the middle to the outside. What are some things that you've really focused on improving?
For me, it's really like looking at the court and seeing what options I have open, and just make sure you're looking, keep your eyes open, and it's all about communication and getting to your spot, and just remember to have fun and just go after it.
And talk to us just a little bit. You've got a senior on your team who is maybe a little bit of an unsung hero, but I think is pretty critical to what you guys do. Talk to us about playing next to a libero like Mina Duong.
It's great. She's an amazing player. She's awesome. She's always getting us those passes, but without her, I couldn't get the job done, because without those passes, then we wouldn't have gotten the set, and I wouldn't be getting the kills I'm getting. So it's amazing. It's fun playing with her.
Well, Sam, fantastic job tonight. You were excellent both in the attack and also from the service line. Great win for the Bearcats. Congratulations. Enjoy this one, and good luck through the second half of the season.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's it for our broadcast. Monroe takes down Jackson in 3 here on STSPN.com. I'm Matty Bishop on behalf of our producer, Todd Elvick, and our Adrenaline Fundraising Player of the Match, Samantha Zimmerman. We'll be back next time, guys. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.